to do a review of the LG K10 here. Now let's go over the design first. The design is mostly constructed of plastic, and the side railing here feels like chrome steel or stainless steel, but it is really plastic. And even the back here has a very interesting pattern, and even that is plastic, and although it feels almost aluminum, I would liked it more to be a different pattern, because this pattern isn't my favorite. It just doesn't look that satisfying, and I wish it was more of a leather pattern, because that's my favorite, because Samsung applied that to a lot of their phones and it looks really nice. Now, although the look isn't the greatest here, the feeling is just absolutely amazing. It feels a lot like aluminum, so it gives a very premium feeling. Now, speaking of metal and aluminum and build quality, this phone is not the lightest phone, and that's a good thing for me, because it does feel like a very premium phone. If the phone is too light, then it just feels kind of cheap. This phone is quite hefty and not the thinnest phone too, so it does feel a little bit premium. The ports, here in the bottom, there is a micro USB, no USB Type-C, just micro USB. There is a headphone jack, microphone on the bottom too, and also on the top. And the camera and the rear facing buttons are on the back. So this is LG signature style. They got rid of it on their flagship phones, but they still have it for some reason, and I'm fine with it. You get used to it pretty quickly. And also the power button without a fingerprint scanner, which is kind of disappointing, but this phone is supposed to be a low-end phone. There is a flash and speaker at in the back too. The rear-facing speaker isn't that great, but I'll get to that later. So if we first open the device up, it will have this beautiful 1080p display here, and it's actually quite good. It's one of the best that I've seen on a low-end phone. It's definitely better than the Galaxy On 5 and those things. I believe it's a 5.1 inch display, and it's a perfect size for me, although I like big phones. And the form factor is actually small because of the thin bezels that they applied to this phone. So if I unlock the phone, you will be able to see all the display here. And if I go all brightness, full brightness, if I go full brightness here, the display's super bright. This is probably one of the brightest displays I've seen on a low-end phone, and I had no trouble, absolutely no trouble reading it outside. It was a really nice bright display, and I'm a really big fan of that. Even the battery life is amazing, even when it's at full brightness, because I don't know, the battery life is just absolutely amazing, although it doesn't have the biggest battery in the world. Speaking of battery life, I'm going to take the back cover off, which is removable, and there is also removable micro SD card slots for more storage. So removable battery is definitely presentable, and it's very nice. So let's close it back up, and let's just talk about some speed and some, speed and those things. So the speed and the fluidity of the phone is pretty good, although it lags out sometimes when you're multitasking a lot. So this thing only has 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, which means that you can really open up about maybe up to 4 apps at once. And if it's like a gaming app, then it'll lag out completely. So if you're a heavy gaming usage, like if you play a lot of heavy graphic design games, then I would definitely not recommend this phone, and probably should look for a more of a mid-end phone to a high-end. This phone is really just for browsing internet, doing Instagram, Facebook, social media stuff, and just maybe taking photos and calling and messaging. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's what I usually do, and watch YouTube, obviously, but those things it can handle pretty well. Except when taking photos, it lags a lot. So when taking photos, it takes a while to take photo and load it, and then you can view it right here, and let's press OK, and yeah, you can view it right away. But just taking photos is very not the fastest. It lags out a lot. So the speed is pretty good, and definitely not for a heavy gaming person or those people. Now the camera isn't that great either. It can take decent photos. In low light, however, it is just absolutely terrible. The camera is probably not the best camera, so if you take a lot of photos, especially at night, definitely not the phone for you. Now if we go here, the user interface is quite good actually, and it's my favorite of any LG user interface. Now it does not have an app drawer, which sucks, but you can download any skins for the Android, like Nova Launcher or Google Now Launcher even. It's very nice system that Android has here, but LG's stock user interface does not have an app drawer, which might be troublesome for some of you guys who have been used to that already. I'm fine with it, and I'm not going to add any launchers because I like how it looks already. So if we go to the drop down menu, you get this big menu here, and I do not like that. The volume and the sound, the volume and the brightness should be a little bit contracted, I should say, and Android 7.0 should change all of that actually, but this phone is running on Marshmallow 6.1, and that's why it's so big here and it just doesn't look that nice. But the color scheme is really nice, at least in my opinion. White and green, very bright and vibrant, and I really like the colors. And even the colors on this display is pretty nice. And I just activated something there and it's lagging out. So those surprise moves lags the phone out a lot. And you can always change the volume obviously, and you can actually edit this notification panel. Pretty nice. You can actually get rid of these two if you really don't like. I don't need the volume, so if I get rid of the volume, it gets smaller. I just fixed it. So yeah, so very customization open, and also obviously widgets are there, and they actually made it a lot like Apple, where you can see it's transparent in the background. So the user interface just looks really nice, and even the phone app, for example, very nice phone app. If you can see here, very nice phone app, and very clean software. Now let's move on to the speaker. I know a lot of people who love speaker, and it's essential to their smartphones. They need to have a really good speaker on their smartphone. If that's the case for you, this is not the smartphone for you, because this speaker gets pretty loud. However, the speaker quality isn't that great, and when it gets loud, the sound just gets distorted. It's awful. Now in the middle volume, it's pretty good though. So it's good for me. I watch YouTube a lot, so it's very good for YouTube users. And finally, I just want to talk about some features. Not a lot of features because it's a low-end device. It's just a very straight end phone. It doesn't have a fingerprint scanner. It doesn't have an amazing, fantastic display. It doesn't have iris scanner. It does not have an curved edge screen. It does not have any of those. It doesn't have dual cameras. It doesn't have an amazing camera or anything like that. So it's just a very great utility phone. So very great for casual, phone users who really don't care about the speed that much. So if you don't play a lot of games and if you don't do heavy tasks, perfect phone for you. And it has amazing battery life, so it can probably go through 2 or 3 days of battery life without charging. So that's a really nice plus. And also removable battery is a very nice feature here, and also micro SD card slot for extra storage if you run out of these 8 gigabytes that come in it. So that was a really quick review, and I hope this video helped you guys choose which phone you guys want. So this phone is definitely for a casual user who don't really care about the camera, speaker, speed, just a very average low-end phone. So I would definitely recommend this for people who, just like I said, who don't really care about those features, fingerprint scanner and all that stuff, and just really good overall good low-end phone. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it thumbs up, please press the likes button, and please subscribe and share this video to anyone. It will help me a lot. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.